There are phrases a wise man will never speak, not because he is afraid, but because he understands their weight. Every careless word reveals the state of the mind that uttered it. A foolish man is not someone who lacks knowledge, but one who refuses to grow. He mistakes arrogance for confidence, noise for strength, and excuses for principles. Today I will share with you 9 things a foolish man always says. If you recognize yourself in any of them, don't resist, reflect. A true man isn't the one who is always right, but the one who chooses to change when he realizes he's wrong. 1. It's not my fault. This is the first instinct of a weak man, to shift blame. He points at the system, his partner, his upbringing, bad luck, anything but himself. He is forever the victim, never the author of his own life. But the Stoic knows, external events are not in our control. Our response to them is. As Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The wise man doesn't waste time blaming. He reflects, learns, adjusts. He takes ownership of his thoughts, actions, and reactions. Because responsibility is not a burden, it's power. When you stop blaming, you begin to lead. 2. I already know that. This is the door that closes the mind. The moment a man believes he knows everything, he stops evolving. He becomes deaf to advice and blind to insight. He listens not to learn, but to reply. The foolish man sees questions as a threat. The wise man sees them as a path. Socrates, considered the wisest man in Athens, said, "I know that I know nothing." Humility is the beginning of wisdom. The man who admits he still has much to learn will surpass the one who thinks he knows it all. Mastery doesn't come from answers. It comes from asking the right questions, over and over again. 3. No one helps me. The fool believes he is entitled to assistance, praise, and sympathy. He expects the world to notice his struggle and come to his rescue. He complains when others don't support him, yet offers nothing in return. He confuses neglect with injustice. But the truth is simple. No one owes you anything. The Stoic accepts this with calm. Life is not a favor, it's a forge. When others help, it's a gift. When they don't, it's your opportunity to build resilience. You are your own foundation. You must become the man you've been waiting for. 4. Everyone does it. This is the anthem of the coward. He justifies his actions by pointing to the crowd. Everyone lies. Everyone cheats. Everyone cuts corners. He uses the many to excuse the smallness of his choices. But the majority is not a compass. The masses follow comfort. The Stoic follows virtue. He does not bow to trends or seek validation. He does what is right, even if no one is watching, even if it costs him. Courage is not loud. It is quiet, often lonely, and unwavering. A true man stands firm when others sit in silence. He chooses principle over popularity. 5. That's just how I am. Here lies one of the most dangerous phrases a man can say. It's a wall against growth, a shield against responsibility. The foolish man hides behind his flaws. I'm just blunt. I have a temper. I don't change for anyone. But the Stoic rejects such excuses. Character is not static. It is shaped, sharpened, and strengthened through effort. Every habit is a choice repeated. You are not simply that way. You have chosen to remain that way. Real masculinity is not in stubbornness. It's in self-mastery. If you see weakness in yourself and cling to it, you are not strong. You are afraid. 6. Life is unfair. The fool cries out when things don't go his way. He sees injustice in every setback, misfortune in every challenge. He believes others have it easier, that fate is playing favorites. But the Stoic doesn't waste energy complaining about the nature of life. He knows that fairness is not something guaranteed. It is something earned by how you conduct yourself when things are not in your favor. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." To dwell on life's unfairness is to double your burden. Instead, bear it well. Act with honor regardless. That is the only justice that matters. 7. She should understand me. Foolish men often feel entitled to emotional understanding without offering clarity in return. They believe their partner should just get it, without ever learning how to express themselves. They expect devotion, yet avoid accountability. They want to be loved unconditionally, but don't lead with strength, clarity, or empathy. The Stoic approaches relationships not as a stage, but as sacred ground. Love is not owed, respect is earned. Communication is not optional, it's essential. If you want to be understood, speak with honesty. If you want loyalty, lead with integrity. Don't demand from a woman what you haven't cultivated in yourself. 8. I don't have time. One of the biggest lies men tell themselves, not because they have no time, but because they don't value it. The fool always feels busy, but rarely fulfilled. He chases distractions and calls them responsibilities. He confuses movement with progress, noise with purpose. The Stoic sees time as sacred. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." A man who respects his time respects his life. You don't find time, you make time. For what truly matters. For discipline, for reflection, for becoming better. 9. That's how I was raised. This is the great cop-out of the coward. He blames his past for his present. He says, "That's how I grew up," or "That's what I was taught," as if that frees him from the responsibility to evolve. But Stoicism teaches us, what is within your control is your duty. Your upbringing is your foundation, not your fate. You are not bound to what you were given. You can reshape it. To be a man is to choose who you become, not to repeat the cycle, but to break it. You are not your father. You are not your environment. You are what you do with what was done to you. Final thoughts. A foolish man isn't born. He is made day by day by the words he repeats, the lies he believes, the choices he avoids. But wisdom is also a choice. It begins with awareness, it grows through honesty, and it strengthens through discipline. True masculinity is not about dominating others, it's about mastering yourself. It's not loud, it's quiet, it doesn't boast, it builds. So if you recognize any of these phrases in your own mind, take it as a signal, a call to rise, to stop waiting for life to become easier and start becoming stronger. The Stoics didn't seek comfort, they sought clarity. They didn't ask for a lighter burden, they asked for broader shoulders. Be that kind of man, one who doesn't run from responsibility, but walks straight into it, with a steady mind and a quiet heart. Because in the end, your words shape your world. Speak wisely, live deliberately.